The intended use of this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the host and guests independently, and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Updog Challenge Incorporated, its sponsors, or any other partnered organizations. Updog Challenge Incorporated does not guarantee the accuracy or reliability of any opinions expressed. In no way should the information provided during the Sweet Spot and Updog podcast be considered veterinary, medical, legal, or professional advice. At all times, the advice of your personal professional should supersede any information provided, derived, or inferred from listening to this podcast.
Ready, set, go.
Welcome to the Sweet Spot, an Updog podcast. I'm Andre Morissette.
And I am Jack Bailey. How are you guys doing today? Hopefully you are staying warm. We know it's really cold out there for a lot of you guys. We've got a cool episode. What's up in the world of DiscDogging in what month are we in, Dre?
February
Yeah,
2026.
that's crazy.
I know.
Like the last one of these that we did, I think was in like October or maybe November. But I know we didn't do one for December. We didn't do one for January. It seems like everybody's going into hibernation up north. They've got like a crazy storm going. Meanwhile, I'm not even going to tell you what the temperature is going to be here in Florida on the weekend.
84 degrees according to Cat's Post, that it's going to be beautiful and sunny in Florida this weekend while there is a massive storm raging across the country. Some of my students are sending me, like from Minnesota, like negative 33 feels like. That's crazy. Very cool.
Yeah, I saw something that somewhere up there it's going to be negative 50 or something. It's going to break a record that's held since 1950 or something like that.
Exploding trees is the conversation right now, that trees will be exploding because the water inside expands and gets so cold that the trees explode. So there's an exploding tree warning. If you haven't, what's up in the country of DiscDogging is that in Minnesota trees are exploding this week.
That's crazy, but now that I think about it, I guess that would happen. That's very interesting.
Yeah, it's a great time to go indoors and work on tricks with your dogs, because outdoors is probably not ideal this week. Yeah, but thankfully here's not bad. In Chattanooga, we're mostly going to get rain. And then it's going to freeze afterwards. So we might have a little bit of ice, but it's supposed to be pretty moderate here. And you have nice and sunny weather down there. So anybody,
I can't complain, I guess, but I'm going to, because like it's been super nice. It's been like highs in the 60s and lows in like the 40s, which is, it's brisk, it's cool.
Weather for Florida, yeah.
But it's not freezing, and the dogs, of course, love it. But now, like, it's been that way all the way up until today, which is Friday. Tomorrow and Sunday will be, we're doing an event, and it's jumping up like 20 some degrees to 84. So they're all going to be like,
dogs are going to be hot. Yep.
Yeah. But, it could be negative 50, so I should shut my mouth.
Yeah. And this is your DiscDog season. Like in Texas, this is their season. Florida, this is your season. So, you guys do most of your competing and qualifying this time of year through March. And then by the time you get to like April, May, it starts getting real hot, and you're not really doing competitions anymore. Then you're up in the 90s. And that's when the rest of the country wakes up and starts working on their stuff. Like when we're running up diff in April, some of these people are still under snow.
Yeah, we went and we looked at a really cool horse park venue yesterday in Florida. Possibly for Florida States, possibly even for the Freestyle Invitational. Really nice place. Cool little facilities for evening events. A neat thing is they have I don't know if anybody knows this, but Disney World has this in Orlando has this little campground area called Fort Wilderness, and they have little cabins.
Yeah.
They have little cabins there. Well, every so many years, they get rid of the cabins and remodel them and get new ones. So anyway, this company bought all their cabins. So they then put up all their cabins. Well, they haven't put them all up yet. They put up about 30 of them or so.
Wow.
And they have another like 40 or so that they can still put up, and that they're working on reconditioning them. So like literally like at this place, you can stay in a cabin. They've got like 50 RV hookups, and then a bunch of awesome like fields, because they have like a bunch of horse competitions there, like the
Yeah.
jumping, the dressage, the polo stuff. Like, so anyway, we're looking at this and we're talking to them about like what their season is. And so
Yeah.
their season is basically November through
November and March.
March
Yeah.
because that's when all the people from up
Snowbirds.
north bring their horses down here and, want to do stuff here. So we were trying to find dates that they would have available, and they're like, "Well, what about like, late April or whatever?" And we're like, "Yeah, late April's starting to get
Okay.
really freaking hot." So, we're trying to find something in there that we can do. Like I said, maybe the Invitational and
October.
also Florida States sometime maybe mid to late October, early November, something like that. But this venue is really cool.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
All right.
So speaking of venues and what's going on, Wolfpack just put out their schedule. So, if you're out there running a club and you are hosting seminars, events, anything throughout the year, if you put it on a schedule like this and post it out, you're going to get great results on those events. Especially the earlier you put it out, people put it on their calendar right away. So super smart for Wolfpack to post up their schedule. They have all their seminars posted for the year. People can plan well enough in advance. I
If
think
somebody doesn't know where Wolfpack is, where are they, Dre?
it's in PA in the Carlisle area of Pennsylvania. And also Di Madison and the Camp Howell and Wolf and Howl. I'm make sure I'm saying that the right way. She put out her schedule too, and there's seminars and events that are coming up. So that's in the Maryland area. So the Northeast is on it. They have put
Did
out.
did Di put hers onto the discussion page?
I know that she posted it. If she didn't put it on a discussion page, I'll shoot her a message and ask her to put it up there. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
didn't
that
see
one.
it when I was sifting through. Sometimes, guys, as you know, like the algorithm sometimes shows you things or doesn't show you things. But something that we've found out is that for some reason, sometimes Facebook flags things and puts it into like a spam-ish kind of area, and it doesn't actually post unless Cat releases it to be posted. But the thing is, we don't get a notification that says, hey, somebody tried to post something and we put it in spam. We have no idea if anything got put there. And as a matter of fact, like a month or so ago, we didn't even know we had such a thing as like a spam
Spam
folder for
folder.
posts because somebody reached out to us and they're like, hey, am I banned? Like, did you guys ban me? I posted like two things and it didn't get posted. And we're like, we don't see anything,
No.
and no, we don't ban anybody. Like, I mean, we would if somebody did something inappropriate, but we haven't banned anybody. So, um, Kat did some, Googling and found out that there is such a thing as Facebook flagging posts
Hmm.
and making for some reason that they think this needs to be approved before it gets put out there. So anyway, what I'm saying is if you think that you posted something on the discussion page and you don't then see it pop up or you're not getting any like traction on it from anybody,
Mhm.
just reach out to myself or Kat and just let us know and we can at least look and see if it had gotten flagged by Facebook and we can if it did, we can release it as long as there's nothing in there for any real reason it should have gotten flagged.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you have your events lined up for the year, we would love, love, love to see it on the discussion page, especially if you can do it on a one-page format like that, where it just has it all broken down by month. People can look at all the dates together and see what events they can put on their schedule early. And that really does support some of the larger events we have across the country because people have to plan these things for work and their time off and all that and save up their money for certain events. So if you wait until March to put out your schedule, a lot of times people already have kind of their finances planned for seminars and larger events throughout the year because people are putting it out in January. So any of the clubs out there, if you have some of your schedule done, and for those of us who are instructors, Jack and me, I know I'm booked for the year. So I'm already done. And Jack already has a lot of stuff booked for the year as well. So if you're looking for instructors to come in, the earlier that you can schedule those, the better chance that you'll have prime dates for seminars as well. So really December, January is kind of a hot time for those. For all you club people out there trying to grow your club, you want to be booking that stuff and you want to be posting it in January.
Speaking
Um,
of like scheduling things, I'm gonna jump down a couple spaces on our planning sheet there, Dre, and because um the DiscDog tracking app.
Mhm.
Daniel just put out an update on that, and one of the things that he's got in his update is an event finder. It's in a beta test mode, but you guys can try it out, and I'm sure that he would love feedback on how it's working. But basically, you can find upcoming events, you can save your favorites, and you can mark events as going. Um, you get to view all the event details in either a list or a map view, and then you can add events directly to your personal calendar. So it just makes the whole thing a little bit easier. So check that out if you can, and also give Daniel some feedback on it. I'm sure he would appreciate that. He's doing a lot of work to make that DiscDog tracker app work for you guys. So that would be cool too, to get reminders like, hey, you got an event coming up next week or whatever, and you can plot out your disc dogging season.
Yeah, I'm looking through the app right now. You just said that and it needed an update. So I just updated it. So I'll go play with that later and see what new information I can plug in there. That's really cool.
Well,
And the
let's
disc dog.
let's let's stick with that one. Just if you, unless you
Yeah,
were, go ahead. Were you going to say
no,
something about that, or
no,
the
that's
other
good.
cool thing that he did on it, which I think is a neat idea. He's got the timers on there. But I haven't played with it, but according to what he said on his post, you can set in like a delay. So like if you're just by yourself, in a field or whatever, you're in your yard or whatever, you're practicing time warp or you're practicing whatever, you can hit a delay on the timer.
So you
So
can
it
get out
gives
to the
you enough
field.
time to hit the timer and then go walk to the line, get your dog ready, and then you'll hear the ready, set, go. At least that's what it sounded like to me. Like I said, I hadn't played with it yet, but when I read through it, I was like, "Oh, that's a cool idea. That's going to be super helpful for people, practicing." And when you're by yourself practicing, you don't have somebody else to hit the timer and hit it at the right time and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking through it now. I don't see it on here yet, but I'll have to um play with where that is on here. That's super fun. It's
Yeah.
so cool. There's an app that has all this information in it. It's really cool. I shot a message over to Di and asked her to post the Camp and Howl schedules, so she's gonna post that up there. So all you other club people, if you have a calendar out there, put it up on the discussion page so everybody can get that on their schedules this year.
Yeah, hopefully on our next what up, we'll have a bunch of those that we can share and let people know what's going on. We realize everybody's kind of hunkered down right now for the winter
Hibernation
time, the
mode.
cold. But yeah, get those dates out there, get those schedules out there, and you'll just like Dre said, you'll find that you'll probably get more folks coming to your events.
Yep.
All right, you were gonna jump somewhere else, Dre, so go for it.
Yeah, I was jumping to the DiscDog deck just because that's another really cool product that's on board right now, and um, they're open for new orders till the end of January. I know that I'm heading to Australia in March, and they ordered a bunch so that I can bring it for that trip. So I'm excited that Australia is going to have a DiscDog deck going, but they are
Cool.
taking new orders until the end of January, which is like we have like another week. So maybe we should post that up on the is this
It's
what's this
it's
going out? It's going out before the end of the month, right? We're posting this on Tuesday.
oh yeah, yeah.
So this
And
will be before the end of
also,
the month. That's perfect.
all you need to do if you want to place an order, go to Etsy and just type in Disc Dog Deck, and the page will come up. The ordering information will come up. You'll see a picture of it, so you know you're at the right spot. You're not ordering something weird. Yeah, Etsy, and then just type in Disc Dog Deck, and you'll get right to it.
Yep. Yeah, so those are just two really cool products that are on the market right now that support up dog tracking and um, your the gameplay being a little bit more efficient and it's super fun, man. It's got buttons to push and it's really exciting that there's so many
The
of our
buttons the
players
buttons
out
are very
there.
satisfying to push. They've
Yeah,
got, how sometimes they have a good feel
a
to
good
them and
feel to
everything.
them. Yeah, they
Yeah.
they look like the old keyboard buttons when computers first came out. There were these big giant push buttons on the computers, and it has that same kind of feeling as our original lap keyboard things from
Yeah.
childhood. So it's got that satisfying kind of feeling to it. There's some so you already talked about the updates that are in the DiscDog tracking app and the DiscDog deck. has already had its updates, and really it's in the next phase of testing now. So for everybody that's getting the DiscDog deck, make sure that you're giving feedback so that as he makes the next round of updates and changes, your thoughts and ideas are included. So feedback is really important for our community and all the people that are pouring into it. What else you got, Jack?
So just briefly, I know we've mentioned this before, but be on the lookout. End of the month, end of January. Excuse me, I'll start releasing the new rules. We've already got all of the original three fragility, throw and go, and four-way play are ready to go to be released at the end of the month. Freestyle as well will be released, the new rules. So these are every game is getting a new rule document.
Mhm.
That doesn't mean that there's significant changes to the rules. It's changes to the formatting of the
Format.
rules document so that it's much easier to read through. Each of the rules documents are the same, so you're not reading through one document and it's like set up and looks a little bit different than another document. Everything's kind of standardized, and we have like a little I guess you would call it like a heading with an icon that helps you navigate through the document. We also have some things we're gonna spend some time going through the new rules documents in February and on the podcast. We're gonna go through a couple of the new sections. But just know that if there are any like major changes to a game, like if anything major changes in the rules documents, that will be underlined. So anytime that you're looking through a rules document, if you look for anything underlined, that means that there's been a significant change to the previous update. The only game that's changed significantly this time around is freestyle. And we're actually going to have a whole podcast episode. I think that'll be the one that'll happen after this one,
Mhm.
early in February, on the new freestyle rules. As you guys know, we've talked about it. The performance round is going to look different, going to be judged differently. And you'll want to dig into that one. But the new
Yep.
rules documents are going to be great. They are also going to set up how all of the other assets for the game, like the virtual players meetings, will get changed to line up with it. A lot of the resources that you guys used, everything will be kind of aligned for this new format so that everything has the same feel to it.
Yeah, streamlined, easier to find the information, no more strike throughs of updated rules that have been, here's the old thing, here's the new thing. So a lot cleaner format, a lot easier to use, a lot easier to find the information, and it's consistent from game to game. So it should be a lot easier for our players and our judges, as you check in with the rules before you judge, to be able to find the information that you need quickly and efficiently, and for our players to do the same. So thank you for the work on that, Jack. I know that's a lot of work in front of a computer. So thank you for going through all of our games and cleaning up that format and making it more fun and readable, which is, your teacher background's really, really perfect for that. So I'm excited
Well, and
to.
I will also say I've had some very helpful updoggers looking over things, helping me edit, helping me bulletize things
Yeah,
because like I think I've said on a previous podcast, I'm not real great at that. Um,
you get wordy, right?
I do. Yeah. If you haven't noticed that already. But
Um,
yeah, I've got a couple folks that are helping me with it and I really appreciate it. That's been great. All right.
Well, speaking of folks in our community, another thing is that is timely is stickers for UpDiff. We are lucky enough to have some really cool artists in our community that have posted to the UpDog discussion page that they are open for custom sticker orders. And for those of you who don't know, if you haven't been to UpDiff yet, it's one of the fun elements of UpDiff is that we do like bracelet exchanges, sticker exchanges, trading card exchanges, whatever kind of artistic expression you like for your dogs. A lot of people really like making creative elements for their dogs and then trading them at UpDiff. So if you want to be prepared ahead of the game, I know that Bailey posted that they're available for artwork, and so is Ashton. And they're both great artists. I've actually had art done by both of them, and I have stickers done by both of them. So I'm really excited to order my new stickers this year. And then usually somebody will post whatever sticker deals are going on. So I don't know that we've seen any of those yet, but now's a great time to get the artwork done so that you're not rushed to get the stickers in before UpDiff. So if you're looking to support some artists in our community, Bailey and Ashton are both offering those services. And then if anybody else chimes in. And if you do have services like that for UpDiff related, like artistic services or whatever, you can post those to the group as long as it's related to UpDiff or UpDog. So we just want to clarify that, you can offer your services to our community, and we do want to support our UpDoggers. We just want to make sure that the content that's on the discussion page is relevant to UpDog and not just relevant to everybody's individual business, because everybody has their own
Yeah,
private
and just
businesses.
don't go crazy with it. Otherwise,
We'll
we'll reach
we'll have
out
to
to you and be
moderate.
like,
Yeah, we don't want to
hey,
moderate.
settle down, settle
Yeah,
down.
we don't want to moderate stuff, but we do want your services to be available to UpDog. So just make sure if you're posting something about your business that it is related to UpDog or UpDiff, and then it's in a timely manner in order to be ready for those events. But please do post what those services are, because we want to support our UpDog people just like you guys support us. So I'm excited about some new stickers. I have a really cute King of Pop one that I made for Magic that I want to get done by Bailey, and I have last year's and the year before were all done by Ashton. So I'm excited.
Yeah,
Are you getting stickers done?
I think I need to get one done for Wham. I just haven't figured out what image or what thing I want to get. And then I think I need to get
You
one
need
for
Bailey
Doc.
to do for Doc. You need Bailey to do one for Doc with the crazy eyes. He's gonna have giant eyeballs and ears going in every direction. I think you need
I
a
mean,
silly
that's just
one.
what he normally looks like.
I
That would
know.
be what he looks like in a photograph. So,
Yeah, so that's a lot of fun. Stickers for UpDiff, bracelets, trading cards, any of that stuff is really fun to prepare for ahead of time for UpDiff. And it's end of January now, and UpDiff is the beginning of April. So if you want to plan for that stuff, now is a good time to plan.
all
Um,
right, let's see what
Speaking
else
of
do we
UpDiff,
have here. You want
UpDiff
to talk
time.
about speaking of UpDiff, I know you're
Yeah.
going to Australia
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
UpDAC is coming up.
Yeah, so UpDAC is Australia's UpDiff, their version of UpDiff, and that is happening the first weekend of March, which is their fall season because it's the other side of the planet. So it's a 26-hour flight. The best flight is 26 hours is the fastest
Have
one.
fun with
That's
that.
really far. Yeah, so doing that in the first weekend of March. So guys, keep out your eyes open for results on that event. That's really cool. And for everybody else prepping for UpDiff, um, there's a bunch of stuff that I know that Macy's doing a seminar up at Dye's Club, Camp Howell. I gotta find out exactly. Is it Bark and Howell? I gotta find out exactly what that is so that I'm saying it right. But I know that she's doing an UpDiff Get Ready for UpDiff seminar. I think that's in February. And I'm going to be doing UpDiff prep in March, but because I'm in Australia for the first 2 weeks, it's going to be a later prep. It's only going to be 4 weeks. So if anybody wants to jump on an interactive 4 week prep, I'm doing that for UpDiff. And Jack, do you know what you're doing? Your seminar out in Texas in February, and then are you doing something in March?
I'm doing a seminar in Alabama, and I'm also doing a seminar in St. Louis.
Whoop, whoop.
I think both of those still have auditing spots available. If you want to check them out, I've posted about them. I posted about the Alabama one on my page, and then Nikki Penta has posted about the one in St. Louis, and I can post about that one too on my Facebook page. But both of those still have auditing spots available, which I know that that doesn't mean you get to do everything, but auditing spots are always great when you go to a seminar. You and it's typically you are also allowed to
Bro.
be a part of the throwing components. Yeah, just not anything with your dog, but like you pick up a ton as an auditor too, and also just watching other people and watching them work through their problem solving stuff with the trainer is kind of a good learning experience as well. Anyways,
Yeah,
yeah, that's where I will be
that's good
in March.
preparation options for people before UpDiff. Um, got a few seminars going on. So if anybody wants to brush up their skills and find out what some of the judges' perspectives are or some of the top players' perspectives are on how to improve or prepare yourself for UpDiff. It is a unique event in that it happens early in the spring. So not everybody's prepared at that time, right? It takes a different level of prep. Everybody's kind of preparing for a fall. So it's really cool to put a little bit of specific intention on preparing for this event because it comes off a winter season. So there's a few seminars going on. There's an online prep course that's interactive. There's a bunch of stuff. So if you guys are looking to level up your freestyle game for UpTIF, that would be a good option for you guys. And do we have
So we
anything else?
have
Oh,
as you guys know, there is another discussion page out there, not just the UpDog discussion page, but there's one called DiscDog Discussions, which is more generic, not to any specific organization.
mhm.
And so every once in a while, we try to look into that one, and if there's a hot topic there, we pull that into our What's Up conversation. Dre and I already talked about this, I
Yep.
think a month or two back, but it just every once in a while it rears its head again and
It
like
does.
it becomes a hot topic, and literally there was like 170 comments or something like this on this topic. So we felt like, all right, well, let's at least bring it up and let people know that it's being talked about, and we can also chime in with our opinions on it. But there was a post about borrowed dogs. Like what's the big deal? First of all, like there's lots of opinions about people borrowing dogs. And essentially what they're talking about is like, hey, at an event, I've got two dogs that I play with that are my dogs, but then maybe I borrow Dre's dog and I play throw and go with it, or I play, time warp or something.
Mhm.
And most of the time, if somebody just borrows one dog, not a big deal. I think what happened in this conversation is it got started talking about, well, what about folks that borrow like multiple dogs, lots of dogs at big contests? And also, like, I mean, the bottom line, this might be a controversial statement, but whatever. It's a podcast. We're trying to make it
Right.
controversial so that you guys listen and tell your friends, oh my gosh, did you hear what Jack
You hear
said?
what Jack
Um,
said?
Essentially, like, I don't think anybody would have a problem with anybody borrowing dogs if those people that borrow dogs never won anything.
Exactly.
I just think that people get upset when somebody that's really good at a game then borrows a bunch of dogs and is really good with all of those dogs in that
Mhm.
game.
Yeah.
Because then at that point, it means if I'm not borrowing dogs and I only have one dog to play with or two dogs to play with, I now have to compete with this other person who has four or five,
And
six dogs to play with. And it makes it much harder for me to possibly get a placement at an event.
yep.
I know like this wasn't even a borrowed dog thing, but I know back in my early days, Dre, you were right there with me. I'd show up to an event. I had one dog that I was playing with. I had one disc dog at the time. And this guy would show up who does
Sure.
shows, and he had like six dogs,
Yep.
and he was good. And so, like, it was just challenging and frustrating to me because I could beat half of his dogs that day, but if he still beat me with the other three dogs, then he wins, right?
Yep.
And so, when it comes to, at least they were his dogs, so like I
Yeah.
really couldn't like argue
Right.
anything, but there was still a frustration of, man, I beat two of them, or beat three of them, I just couldn't beat all six.
Well, back then people would complain that they thought they should limit how many dogs people should play with. It wasn't even a borrowed dog argument then. It was that good players that did shows would come in with 6 or 8 or 10 dogs and play six of them in freestyle and take all the cues. And so we were like, well, we should be able to limit how many dogs they can queue with so they can't sweep the board. And that's where Skyhound's 2Q thing came from and AWI's 2Q thing came from because top players would come in and sweep all the queue spots and nobody else. So they left one queue spot for somebody else to be able to get, and then the top players could only take two. So that's
Well, and
interesting.
I think the frustrations then just get multiplied when you see that those aren't even that person's dog, you know,
Uh-huh.
and so like if you've got there, I believe again, this is my hot take and my opinion. Doesn't mean anything. That it's not Updog's opinion, it's not Dre's opinion.
Disclaimer.
But
We just got to say
I
disclaimer.
just think there are certain games that it is easier for you to hand your dog
Yep.
off to somebody else and have them do well as in that game as well. So if you've got a good thrower for throw and go,
Or far
if
out.
you've got a good thrower with a fast release for time warp, and your dog has learned the pattern for that game, then many times, depending on the dog, some dogs aren't easily just handed off to
Right.
other people. But like a high drive disc dog usually doesn't have an issue playing disc with another person. Um, and so I can easily at an event hand off this dog, and I could hand many of my dogs off to Gary,
Right.
who's a great throw and go player, and he could score well and throw and go with them. And he's also got some dogs that he always plays with from one of our friends. So, like, you know, I could start just handing Gary a bunch of dogs for throw and go, and next thing you know, he's kind of stacking the deck with like, you know, six really good
Yep.
dogs. And it just becomes frustrating then for players that are trying to, you know, do well at an event in terms, and when I say do well at an event, I mean like for a podium placement, for taking a ribbon. Obviously, in Updog, you can always work for personal bests, always work for achievements. But many people are motivated by, I would like to try and get, you know, a first, second, and third placement.
Mhm.
And it becomes very frustrating when a top level player who's got like a really long throwing arm for distance too. And by the way, long distance, it seems like it's a thing. It's like a new thing that's kind of crept up with Finn, because Finn is such a phenomenal thrower and he can throw really far. But this has been like it's been a cycle that's happened for
Yep.
the last 20 years
20
in
some
long
years. Yep.
distance. Like,
There's always one
um,
guy everybody's mad at for outthrowing everybody else. And there's always one
exactly,
girl that everybody's mad at for
exactly.
outthrowing everybody else. Yep.
Well, and it really isn't good for the game. Like
Mm-mm.
it's good for that player. They're sweeping podiums, they're killing it, they're doing awesome. And there's nothing against that particular player. Obviously, you're gonna play as best as you can. But it isn't great for the game. Like
Right.
there is a long distance game called the Quad
Hmm.
that I know many people have heard of, but a lot of people may not have. But anyway, it's a long distance game. And they used to have this rule. There's two divisions, and I'm not even sure because I don't play it right now. Dre, you might have played it more recently than I, but they used to have this rule that said if you win in the lower division, then you
You got to
have
move
to
up.
move up to the upper division.
Yep.
Well, in the men's division, in order to win in the lower division, you could win in the lower division with like a
55-yard throw.
55, 60 yard catch. And then if you win, you have to move up to the upper division.
100
But
yards.
the upper division is like this huge jump, and the people at the top end of the upper division, there's only a handful of them. And I'm speaking, this was like years ago, 15 years ago or so when I was playing. At the upper end of that division, there's maybe four players throwing 85 to 100 yard
Mhm.
tosses. The
Yep.
rest of the people are all clustered back down at like 65 to
Yep.
75. So all of those people started being like, I don't even need to show up. Why should I bother?
Right.
And so the person running the quad at the time, which by the way was not Jeff Sheets at that point in time, it was before he took over.
Yeah.
But that person was like, okay, this is not great for my contest. And so they looked at, well, maybe we should think about altering that rule of, okay, if you win the lower division, you have to move up to the upper division. And I can't remember exactly what they changed
I
it
think
to.
they
I
gave
think
him
it
one
was
extra
like,
cycle.
yeah, I
I
think
think
you
you
had to
can play
win
one more
twice or
time after
something like
winning.
that. So when you've got this, when you have this player or players that are really setting themselves apart from the rest of the pack. And
Hmm.
then on top of it, sometimes they've got lots of dogs, whether they're borrowed dogs or they're their own dogs. Like if I've got a ton of dogs and I'm one of the best players, then you don't stand a chance of even getting on a podium. And so a lot of people just be like, well, never mind, I'm not even coming then.
You know,
So at that point, sometimes the organizations have to think, all right, like what should we do here to keep it competitive? Like, is there anything that we can do to tweak the rules to keep it competitive? And that could be limiting the number of dogs. That could be
creating another
limiting the
division.
number, yeah, making another division. Um, all right, you two people, you're in your own division. And
Well, I mean,
that's what sort of
it's the
happened.
same
Like,
problem as freestyle. It's the exact same problem as freestyle. People start in a lower division, novice or intermediate or whatever, and pretty quickly they can get to the top of that division. And when they move up, if you gotta beat the top players, and the top players that probably do this for a living.
well, I think, well, freestyle is probably the hardest game to borrow dogs in, though.
Yeah, you don't see it very often. Yeah, and mostly when you see people borrowing in freestyle, they are people that work doing dog shows, right? And they're the person
Yeah.
that owns the dog isn't playing freestyle at all. Maybe
Or
at a
they're
very
just like they see that dog all the time. They're friends with that person or
right.
something. Like I used to do freestyle with Babs's dog Jolene,
Yeah, the poodle.
but like I worked with that dog on a regular basis in order to be able to play freestyle. Like that's not a thing where you just show up, hand your dog off, and play
Yeah.
freestyle.
Yeah, and the linear games are definitely easier for sharing. And you could put some limitations on, how many of those dogs because of that you would let, or, maybe have a pro division, and those people can battle it out with their 30 dogs, the two people with their 30 dogs, and see. I mean, there's all sorts of ways to break it up to be more
Yeah.
reinforcing. I think they also did something where you can play two dogs, and in the first cut, whichever one does better gets to go on to the competition. I think, is that Hero Cup? Does it that
Something,
way?
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And like in the quad, like you're only allowed to play one dog in the
Mhm.
quad.
I wonder
Um,
if they made that change too. I'd have to think about that. I could ask Macy, because she would know. But yeah, recently there were changes of being able to play a second dog. You pay full price for both dogs. And in the first round, whichever dog gets knocked out, the second one gets to play. But I mean, that'd be worth it for me just to be able to throw to a second dog, especially in that format like the quadruped, because I'm gonna play Capiche every time because she's my best catching dog. So my young dogs don't ever get a chance to play that. I'm not going to choose a young dog that's not going to catch that well, right? In a competition setting. But if you have the two dog thing where you can register both and whichever one does better, maybe your young dog one day edges out your top dog, or your young dog gets field and competition experience. But anyway, to go back to the borrowed dogs conversation, it's come up, it's reared its head every 5 years or so, every 2 or 3 years or so, where somebody starts
it
running away with the distance competitions, and then
exactly. That's when
it's
it
either
comes up.
complaining about rollers or throws, right? It's going to be complaining about rollers or air throws. And when I hear
Right.
that, and I say it doesn't matter because this year we're going to have thicker grass and the roller people aren't going to be winning. And then next year, when we're back in Alabama, we're going to have the fine grass again, and roller people are going to be winning. And so it's going to depend on the wind. It's going to depend on the rain. It's going to depend on the environment. That sometimes the borrowed dogs, I think they're going to be in a disadvantage, obviously, because it's not their dog. But if that person's that talented and they can throw 100 yards, there's nobody else that can throw 100 yards. I don't think the sport has found a solution to the problem yet, other than the top people are going to win because they're the best at the game.
Yeah. I mean, it's a I don't know. I like these conversations. It's
Yeah.
what makes disc fun, like, to have some differing opinions and, get into a conversation about it. And like,
Mhm.
it's, I mean, the bottom line is, hey, go out and beat that person. Like, be
Yep.
better.
Yep.
That,
And I actually
maybe
lost this year at Skyhounds, the extreme distance competition. I lost this year to one of the people that borrows multiple dogs as the last dog. I was on the podium. The last dog, the last throw was borrowed. They caught it and just edged me out, and I was booted off the podium. So, sometimes you win, and I'm not one of those people that borrows dogs. I'm a lefty. So people don't really give me their dogs because my discs fade the other way. So I'm more on the other side, that even though, I'm one of the further throwing people or the freestyle people, that doesn't transfer as well for me. So I'm in an interesting position that I have the ability to win it, but I don't have a bunch of borrowed dogs to play because they all are righty dogs. So maybe all the
Sounds like you.
lefties should just hand me their dogs and I'll play a far out with them at UpDiff. Yeah. So anyway, that's the borrowed
It,
dogs thing is an
I
interesting conversation.
I think it would be I would love to hear some more of y'all's thoughts on it. Like, when some of these things come up, does anybody have any like
Solutions.
solutions on it? Like, how do we make it fair for everybody?
Yeah.
Do you think it's a problem? Like maybe it's not even a problem. I mean, it's fair right now. Just go beat the best team.
Right.
So anyway, it's just I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. I've been in the middle of it all in every different area. I've borrowed dogs. I've lost to borrowed dogs.
Yep.
I finally figured out a way to beat some of those people that showed up with a bunch of their dogs, all six or eight of them, and I
Mhm.
had to beat all of them,
Yep.
but like, you figure it out. Like so uh it would be interesting to hear people's thoughts and if anybody has any solutions like in like some rules or stipulations for a
Modifications. Yeah.
contest or something like that.
I think that that wraps up our What's Up for February. That actually ended up being a lot of stuff for wintertime, but it's been a few months since we've done stuff.
It
So
does. If anyone has any complaints about any of my comments on borrowed dogs, they can send it to
yeah,
cat at updogchallenge.com.
good luck. Now you're gonna get hit. Yeah. But we are, down in the South, you guys are already kicking your season. So for everybody else, we hope you're able to catch up soon to get out on an updog field and start getting your points for 2026. UpDiff is coming soon. We're in full swing. Registration's launching. We're excited. We're doing all of our final planning and having all of our meetings and doing all of our stuff. So we are super excited about UpDiff coming up, and we hope that you guys are too.
Yeah, and as we get closer, like in March, we'll have some episodes where we talk about, some things to look forward to, some things to prep for,
Yep.
what to bring, all of that good stuff. We know we got a lot of first timers coming to UpDiff this year, which is going to be fun. Every year we seem like we bring in some new folks that have never been, and we want to try to coach them up a little bit on what to expect. So we'll do some of that in March. But in the meantime, you guys stay warm, practice up, like Dre said. And
What up, dog?
what else, Dre?
Be kind to each other.
And be kind to your animals. We will see you next time on The Sweet Spot.
You heard the buzz, heard the word on the street. Up dog challenge, it can't be beat. It ain't just fetch, it's a very special game for the dogs and the people. We all shout its name, whether it's a roller or in the air. My canine companion doesn't really care. We're in the up dog zone now. Got that laser focus, making every throw an epic high flying bonus. What's up, dog? We're on the field, sun in the sky, with my best friend soaring, teaching that just to fly. It's the up dog jingle, so come get in the mix for the ultimate teamwork and all the best tricks. From throw and go to freestyle, we're bringing the heat. We're fun, helpful, and a friendly team that can't be beat. So if you love your pup and you love to see the disc really spin, come on down to Up Dog, where the good times begin.
Yeah, where the good times begin.
Oh my gosh, did you hear what Jack
Do you
said?
hear what Jack said?